So the UFL Cup reaches the knockout stages now. We got the lineups made up. We're fortunate to have the very pogy Jing Jammer to walk us through. Tell us the fixtures that are in place there after all the seedings and everything going
on. Well, I got my cheat sheet over here. Tomorrow are the first round of fixtures. Well, depending on when this airs, I suppose. On the 12th of November, it's UIM, Union International Manila, versus General Trias. Should be a very interesting match. UIM all the way up to third in the rankings, so that's pretty surprising. The next game after that is Forza versus Pachanga Diliman, which is going to be an interesting one as well. And on Thursday, so the first week is going to be wrapped up by Stallion versus Cebu Queen City. That's going to be the first match for that day, and then after that, Aguila versus Ceres LaSalle FC. So this week is going to be pretty wild.
Yeah, they're all very evenly matched teams as well. It's a pretty nicely competitive games there. I like that. Who are you looking for surprises there?
I think UIM. I mean, obviously, they kind of ruined the surprise by being third. But in the group stages, if they had not won that game against Kaya, I think they would have just flown in under the radar and then really shocked some people in the round of 16, because I've seen some games at UIM and they've got some new players and they look pretty formidable. So they're going to be a very interesting team. I think Forza as well is going to be pretty strong. So obviously everybody's already looking at Global, Loyola, Kaya, and all of that, and Stallion, Green Arches, but there are some teams that will shock some other clubs out there. So you can't count out the likes of Philippine Air Force and maybe some of those guys at the bottom of the rankings, because they've been hot and cold in the group stages. They'll play bad in 1 or 2 games, but then they'll come out and put in a real good performance. And that's the funny thing about a cup. It's only one game, right? So it depends who shows up. So anybody's ball game. So I'm very excited. A particular fixture? I think Stallion versus Cebu Queen City United is going to be one heck of a game. It's going to be a good one, I think.
And you reacted to that game just a little bit before we were going through that. Why was that?
It's a pretty good game. It's also a rivalry in Visayas. It's Cebu versus Iloilo because it's representative. On hindsight, it's quite interesting considering that Cebu won against Stallions in the group stage. So we're expecting a surprise there if Stallion can bounce back from that defeat and advance to the next round.
That's right.
It was a bit of a 4-1 thrash.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't see the game myself, but looking at the stats, in fairness, Stallion had, was it OJ, right? Clarino sent off, and that's when Cebu started to dominate the game. So it'd be interesting to see what happens, because it was a draw at the time, what happens with 11 players on the pitch for each team. So that'll be a good fixture, Coach Oni, who are you looking at as contenders against Global right now?
Yeah, as Gene has said, that there's a lot of new teams and they're starting to pick up. Union International is one example, and not to discount Jeepney also. They have some good selections of players also. But for me, what's really wonderful is to see Union getting better every time they played on the pitch. The organization is getting better, and I think give credit to the coach also. Dan Padernal is one of our young coaches who went to different programs under the PFF. So basically, it's a wonderful exposure for him also.
And coach, to add to that, I think Coach Dan was also part of the supposed under-23 squad.
Yeah, he's the assistant coach for the under-23. So, and not just that, Dan is a former national player. So he's bringing in his same experience with the team and also inspiring local players.
Yeah, Union looked very good. I saw the game against Kaya just last week, and they were 4-1 up at one point, stunning everyone in the whole place. Kaya tried to come back in the end and it finished 4-3. It's a very good game. I had to leave just before I was leaving just as the second goal from Kaya went in. So the comeback continued there. But they got some very good players. They brought in Jeremy Thoya. Is he transferred or on loan from Global?
He's on loan. Also, Paulo. Paulo is having his time there. Wonderful that he's earning also some minute to play.
And both of those are official.
Paulo is a former national player. I think he's still part of the pool, and we hope he can come back. We know he came from lots of injury.
They brought in Fidelis Nbuife. He scored a very good goal against them, against Kaya. Outside of the foot, outside the box, right in the bottom corner, stunned Kaya, because I think that was for 2-0 if I remember right. So that was good. Oh, sorry, 2-1.
They picked up really well off the off season, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Ahmed Hajimedi, you've got Shahan Jafari, you got Hassan who's playing, and like you said, Brife is there as well. They've been, everybody's been focusing on all the other teams, but they've picked up some really quality players.
The second division should be really competitive when the league starts as
I
well.
hope so.
They're doing really well. Forza have picked up. You've got a couple of the Armed Forces teams in there now.
Yeah, that's right.
And maybe a third one on the way. But let's not go into that too much. It'd be interesting. Actually, on that note, is there any official word about who's going to replace Nomads in the first division?
No.
Not yet.
What I do understand is that the technical committee is going to convene regarding whether it's going to be 9 or 10 in the first division, and then it's also going to be, depending on what they decide on, they will also decide upon placement, like who, what are going to be the guidelines set to decide who's going to move up if they do decide that it's going to be 10. But then, of course, there's also that concrete possibility that it's just going to be 9. And that will then develop into something else. Will there be 2 teams relegated? It'll develop further and it'll be explained as the process goes on. But that's how I understand that it's going to be the technical committee to decide on that.
Let's hope that it stays at 10, keeps it nice and even, and also Union were second, they finished in the playoff. It makes sense for them to go, especially with the showing in the UFL Cup. Winner, last questions, who's going to win?
The UFL Cup as a whole? My goodness, right?
Let's get some predictions then straight out.
Wow, it's so tough, I'm just thinking about Loyola scoring so many goals and not even conceding a single one in the group stages. They're coming in, they're bracketed as number 1, so they're going to have like an easier route. And then Global has been playing really well as well, so it's pretty much a coin toss. You know what? I'm just going to go Loyola, just because I know he's going to go Global, right? So I'm going to go Loyola, just so that it's going to be a little different, and also because I feel like it's starting to get to them at this point. It's been 2 seasons that they've had, star-studded lineup, so much expectations, and then no trophies.
And they are the hungriest team, from what they said.
Exactly.
Picked up very well.
Yeah, so they picked up very well off the offseason as well. And, like I said, there's got that little bit of a chip on their shoulder that they want to prove themselves this time around. So, Loyola.
Coach Oni, any surprises for us?
First, we respect all the teams and we will be preparing for them.
I love it.
However,
football. One beauty of football is at the end of the day, you don't know who's going to win.
Yeah.
So until the last whistle has been blown.
Favourites for the cup, though.
Is that a question?
Yeah. Who's your favourites for the cup? All right, Eco, break the tie. Break the tie. We got Loyola and Global.
Sorry, I'm not picking on both sides. Probably Saras. He might be a surprise team as well.
You think?
It'd be nice to see that too.
Yeah.
Man.
Considering you don't discount the national champions for nothing.
That's right.
Okay.
Forget.
And they had a couple of dodgy results, though.
Yeah, they did go through that same group of guys going into that championship as well.
Okay.
Right? Granted, it might have not have been at the best possible time for those teams to compete against them, but that was a very strong style inside that they beat, and then going through those clubs, that was a feat on its own. So hey, man, you never know.
Yeah.
They're the defending champion of the Smart Club. They're national champions.
That's right. Yeah.
So
And the games are going to be televised now, right?
Yes.
So you can catch them on TV, and maybe you'll catch Jing as well, calling some of those games. So catch the games live. Watch the UFL Cup games. There's now the fee as well, 50 pesos and 100 pesos for the games at the Emperador Stadium. But they are going to be quality games. I mean, the first 4 you mentioned, they're very, very even teams. It's going to be very competitive. And then you got the big guys in the other 4 as well.
Yeah, they're coming in next week, just so that, of course, we didn't want to jump in.
With
the ASCALs being in duty and all that.
Yeah, it's great. So follow us at FTW Sports. We'll tweet out all the info.